All right, everyone, buckle up because this courtroom just got chaotic. The defendant has been relentlessly contacting the victim. Yes, even from jail. And now the court has to decide how to handle these repeated violations. We're diving into bond adjustments, revoked privileges, and explosive testimonies that could determine his freedom. Who's really in the right here? And who's testing the limits of the law? Keep watching because the twists keep coming, and you'll want to see exactly how the judge navigates this legal minefield.
We adjourned last time because it was discovered the defendant had been calling the victim and e-messaging the victim very, very frequently. And after that was addressed, the victim got him a new number, and he, from the jail, has called her at that new number 105 times as recently as 10:55 p.m. last night. Because of this, Your Honor, I believe a $10,000 bond is appropriate. I believe he's earned a 10% based on his actions. I ask that his phone privileges be revoked while this case continues. If need be, I have the jail call ready to play. I even have an officer. We need to lay foundation, but I can play it as an officer of the court. But it continues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, the way this went is in night. Yeah, I just want to say that for the record, in February of 23, at the PCC, Mr. Pfeiffer was intending to add the interfering with a crime report. And then Mr. Hepburn removed his tether and he wasn't seen again until September. And now the allegation is he can't follow court orders in jail. Go ahead, Ms. Lund.
Thank you, Your Honor. You know, the bond is set. The objectives of the bond is to secure my client's appearance in court. And I know that he did disappear for some time, and he was the guest of another county, I think Wayne County, where he was arrested. He's done with what he needs to be doing there. And they made him available to come here in court. My client is willing to, we discussed the necessity of coming to court when requested to do so. I understand that with his propensity of calling the alleged victim, and the alleged victim herself calling him and giving him the number to call him, I understand that she doesn't have to, she's not bound by this order. But for the for her safety, for the safety of the public, I would say this, Your Honor, he's not dangerous. She's showing that he's not dangerous. He's just not following your orders. If she's the one calling him, and so she doesn't need to be protected. If she's the one putting money in his account to call her, she's the one giving him new numbers to call her.
Now let's break this down. Here we see the defense arguing that the defendant isn't inherently dangerous, even though he's repeatedly ignored court orders. They're trying to shift the responsibility onto the victim, claiming that because she's providing him new contact info, it somehow mitigates his actions. But here's the key point. The court's job is to enforce boundaries and protect safety, not to negotiate consent between parties. This is a textbook example of why courts must weigh impulse control, past violations, and risk of recidivism when considering bond. What do you think? Should personal involvement of the victim reduce the defendant's accountability?
Mr. Hepburn, keep nodding. I'm going to take that really well right now. If you think that this justifies your behavior one iota, this is why you're going to stay in jail. Go ahead, Ms. Watts.
So I would tell the court that for her safety, she doesn't need this to be protected by the court. Now, my client does not follow your orders. That's another problem. And we believe that you can give him some another chance to show you that he's going to follow the orders, which would be what? Plus the alleged victim doesn't live in the state anymore. She's not in the state anymore. And so terror can be, I don't know what the terror is going to do at this time, but we believe that a bond with PR bond or a bond is an amount that he can pay is appropriate in this case, considering the fact that there is really just the fact. Oh, my client also can, the court can order that my client, or in any other conditions to show that he's going to follow the court orders. Because that's the really big problem. He's impulsive. He doesn't know, I don't know what's going on with him, but he's not dangerous.
I mean, these are assaultive charges. Your client has impulse control issues. And the reason the victim might be in contact with him is because he's in jail. So it's a safe time for her to have contact because he can't assault her. So, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say the pure fact that she's having contact with him means that somehow he's a safe member of the community. Bond is like a trust situation, right? I let someone out. I trust they're not going to hurt anyone. They're going to show up when they're told to show up. And Mr. Hotburn has broken trust for sure. Mr. Pfeiffer even dancing around. What is it?
I have him confessing to cutting his tether on a recorded call. And further, if I was the victim of a case with a history of getting assaulted, and I finally report to police, and he and his family are able to continuously contact me, as soon as he gets out, even when a case is going, he's able to go right back into her life, I would not feel safe, and I would not feel like the fact that a case is ongoing would provide me any measure of safety. I want to make that person as happy as I could to not get beaten further.
Well, I would call that real speculation. I think that the fact that she's calling him and giving him money, how safe can she be when he's in jail? She's safer because he's in jail. But he's the one calling him, putting money for him to contact her, telling him I love you. So that's a victim with a problem, not a victim who needs protection from him.
I don't know. I don't know what her motivations are. I don't know if this is a toxic relationship and that they continue to be in this on again, off again state. What I do know is that Mr. Hotburn being on bond requires trust, and I don't have much trust in Mr. Hotburn because apparently even after I revoked his phone privileges 3 weeks ago, he could not control his impulses enough not to have Mr. Pfeiffer come back in here with an offer of proof that he continues to make contact. If he cannot control his impulses, he is a danger to all of us. He needs to...
Whoa, hold on. Check this. The defendant has confessed to cutting his tether, completely breaking trust with the court. And yet here, we are debating bond conditions. The prosecutor is absolutely right. This isn't just about a toxic relationship. This is about public safety and ensuring compliance with court orders. And notice how the defense keeps stressing that he's not dangerous. Impulse control isn't a suggestion. It's literally the difference between someone being free and someone back in jail. Would you risk letting him out under these conditions, knowing he's already broken trust repeatedly?
Learn to control his impulses. I have to set a bond at this point. I don't think it's appropriate to continue to deny bond. Bond will be set at $25,000, cash surety, with all the conditions: the do not leave the state, do not commit crimes, show up for court, report to pretrial services within 48 hours of your release, within the first business day after release. No firearms, no dangerous weapons, no assaultive behavior, no alcohol, marijuana, illegal drugs, no contact with Casey James, not to be within 2,000 feet of where she lives, works, or goes to school. And in addition, I've got a GPS tether. I don't know what zone to establish because I don't know the victim's whereabouts, so I'm going to have to leave that to you to provide the information to JSG.
Here's the judge laying it out crystal clear. Bond is set at $25,000 cash with strict conditions: no leaving the state, no criminal activity, GPS monitoring, and strict no contact with the victim. This is a perfect example of how courts use bond not just as a financial guarantee, but as a structured framework to control risk. The exclusion zones and GPS tether are safeguards that allow the defendant conditional freedom while protecting the victim and the community. It's also a reminder: bond is a privilege, not a right, and it comes with responsibilities that must be respected.
Then I think we should do the language as exclusion zone if possible. I think that's the language that works best for them.
And that's if JSG will give you a tether at this moment because you cut their last one. They don't like that. You violate an order of no contact. You could be arrested without a warrant. Your bond could be revoked. You could be in contempt of court, for which you face up to 93 days in jail and or $7,500 in fines, separate from which you already face. Probably the more relevant part is the bond revoked part. You've been in jail for all these weeks because of bond revoked, because of choices that you have made. In addition, this order is about you. It's not about her. She's texting you and texting you. She's allowed to do that. You're under a court order. If you text her back, you go back to jail. She's calling you and calling you. She is allowed to do that. You call her back, you go to jail. She does not have authority to give you permission to violate a court order. It's my court order. She cannot give you permission to violate that order. You violate that order, you go back to jail. You understand that?
Yes, I understand.
And all of this stuff about she's making contact and putting money on your account, all of this does not make you look better. It makes you look worse. And until you realize that, you're going to continue to get yourself remanded back to jail. All right. I got to put the bond on the bind over, and then anything else we need to address today.
Your Honor, when reviewing it, it looks like the jail never actually revoked his privileges, so I just wanted to be.
They told me they did.
Oh, I know.
legit have an email back. I can email them again and say it didn't work.
That would be helpful.
Okay. Although if you postpone, it won't matter because you won't be in jail anymore, but we'll see.
Agreed. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
To wrap up, this case highlights the delicate balance courts must strike between protecting victims, enforcing orders, and managing the defendant's rights. The judge's ruling imposes strict bond conditions while emphasizing accountability and safety. It's a clear message that repeated violations have serious consequences, and trust, once broken, must be earned back. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.